course, the toxic chemicals with the Corexit deployed to disperse the oil from the surface, not under the sea, has caused many, many people to become very sick with long-term effects. And then the chemicals were blown out to sea, eliminating the potential for the mass genocide. Just reminders of that sacrifice to Lucifer. That's what it's all about. There it is there. Gigantic platforms. Reiterating, the Jesuits are at the top of the tree. They are behind everything. Jesuits control the Vatican, and their plot was to destroy the USA. It was all averted. Even though they've refused to employ the available bacteria that was used successfully in Texas, that the damage has yet to be addressed. And of course they will ignore it as long as possible. That's their ways and means. Reiterating the full moon happening next Thursday, September 23rd at 9:18 Universal Time. Directly in the centre of the daylight is the Great Pyramid, and then the messages are recorded and read from the moon positions, very important moon positions. The sub-tens number, 0.4930, and then the Earth radii, 63.3, important references to biblical prophecies that will be fulfilled from that date forward. The Earth radii, of course, 3963 is the word Patmos in Greek. And clarifying for you, that's where the Archangel Michael, who looks exactly like the young Jesus. Brian's angel today, of course, is Gabriel, who looks exactly like him as Yahweh. Going over the face angle of the pyramid, pi angle. It's the same angle formed when human bones are ground to a powder and poured into a pile. That angle is 51 degrees, 51 minutes and 14.3 seconds. Going over 4930 in the Hebrew dictionary with a reference to chapter and verse of Isaiah 22:23 from 4931, entire completion, consummation of a dispensation, that is end. When in biblical terms a dispensation refers to a dispensation of time or a period, an era, epoch, if you like. So it's the end. It's the end of this world as we know it. The Isaiah prophecy predicting the end time king will be fixed in a sure place when the world ends, like a nail holds something fixed in place. Reading again, and I will fasten him as a nail in a sure place, and he shall be for a glorious throne to his father's house. Two prophecies of Matthew and Mark. The angels will begin to reap the souls of evil men and cast them into the fire. The harvest is the end of the world. That's what we're entering into. And the reapers are the angels. Tares are gathered and burned in the fire. Just as wheat and tares grow up together, leaving them alone until this time in the end, the tares are then bundled, gathered together and burned in the fire. The tares and the wheat are actually identical. There's no distinguishing between them to look at, is there? But it's the angels, as the reapers, who know who is who in the zoo. And they won't be making mistakes. They are, in fact, the judges. That's why, as Jesus, he said not to judge. Because God is not the judge in this case. He pronounces the sentence, but it's the reapers, the angels, who do the judging. Son of Man sends forth the angels, and they gather all out of his kingdom that offends, and all them which do iniquity. So it really is a horrifying time for the wicked. Fear and terror for them. It's the cleansing of evil out of the world. They cannot enter into the heavenly realm as we cross over into it on that date in 2012. Our first day in paradise will be the 22nd of December in 2012, which is a Sabbath. Jesus, of course, Brian, Yahweh is the Sabbath. It means death for the wicked. They'll be cast into a furnace of fire where there'll be wailing and gnashing of their teeth. There is no place to go but to recognize the Son as the Father, who is Yahweh. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. The wicked will be severed from amongst the just. Distance to the moon is 63.3 Earth radii. It's a reference to Isaiah 63. The Lord returning from modern day Sodom covered in blood. He's not been able to find one soul worth saving. And that was fulfilled when Brian returned from the USA in 1996. Those who have believed are the 144,000. And those who do not believe, they're not worth saving. They are not immortal, unlike those who do believe in Brian, Yahweh, the Lord Jesus Christ. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. The stone, the capstone, which the builders refused, has become the headstone of the corner. It's actually the pyramid. We've just passed the point in time, Saturday of last week, September 11th, 2012 years from the conception date of Mary in the year 3 BC.